Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of No Man's Sky. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. And look at this thing, man. This is cool. Can't interact with them, can't tame them or anything. Little turtle with his turtle head poked in. Alright, well we're back on the same planet where we found that special starship a couple episodes ago. Doing all of our little building stuff here, and I wanted to check back and see what this looked like. And yeah, it looks the same, right? These autonomous mining units with the facium. We got plenty of poop we mined, and we'll be able to refill it and put poop back in. So that answers that question. It doesn't really look like this shrunk at all. So this is a kind of a nice little alternate that is not going to net you nearly what a regular mine would net you resource-wise, but it's not terrible either, so that's good to see. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to look at a different type of building. So we looked at some of the basic tech and some of the slightly more advanced tech that's not really quite as basic. When I say basic, I mean like necessary for a functioning base. And we looked at how to use the modular system here to build, where you just, use walls, floors, ceilings, and all that kind of stuff, right? But there's a whole other aspect to building, and we touched on it a tiny bit up here, but we haven't really looked at all the parts yet. So that's what we're going to do today. I know a lot of people prefer the ease of using these pre-built rooms, like these little squares here, these cubes. I think they're great. The big circular ones are a lot of fun too. But there's more to it, so we'll take a look at some of those. Let's go find a nice location to hang out. Alright, so we went ahead and found a different planet to build on. This one is a nice, bountiful planet. Abundant fauna, copious flora, no sentinels. So, in other words, pretty nice place. You got paraffinium here. I think it was copper. Of course, oxygen and all that kind of stuff. So I went ahead and landed. There's also a lot of water on this planet. So it's mainly islands. So it's kind of cool like that. A lot of stuff can be done on a planet like this. But we chose a spot here for two reasons. One, we're going to show off the modular building pieces, but I also wanted to show off mining. I haven't done anything on mining for a while, and a lot of you are new to the channel. So I'll show you how to build the autonomous miners and all that to start making, start gathering resources. Now, you can go for any type of resource. When you scan a planet, you'll see what's on there. Bountiful planets tend to have paraffinium. Hot planets tend to have phosphorus. Cold planets, dioxide. You'll find dead planets that have gold and silver. Lots of planets have cobalt. Sometimes you'll find facium, mordite. You never know what you're going to find. And, of course, you can see those deposits like we saw on that first base with the facium that we had those autonomous mining units. A little bit different. What you're going to need is this survey device, and that can be bought at the Anomaly. And it's not very expensive to build it. Let's go ahead and dismantle it and reinstall it to show you what it costs to add this to your collection. There it is, survey device. You can see a quantum computer, magnetic resonator, a couple of wiring looms. No big deal. Easy peasy to build it. Those items aren't necessarily the easiest to find, but if you search a couple space stations, you should find them there. If you find those little outposts, those little trading outposts, sometimes they're there. The larger trading outposts, landed pilots. I mean, just look around. You'll find those items if you can't build them. If you can build them, and you'll see here, let's show you what it takes to build them. Like the quantum computer, chromatic metal, antimatter, and a microprocessor. Not horrible. And what was the other one? There it is. Magnetized ferrite and ionized cobalt for the magnetic resonator. Of course, you can't build wiring looms. They do tend to be a little expensive, so be prepared for that cost. So in any case, when you have that, and you hold down L2 to scan, you'll see analysis mode at the bottom. It normally defaults to the one on the far left, which lets you look at plants, animals, minerals, and stuff like that and scan them for money like we're doing here by holding down R2. Or you can go to this target suite mode, which that generally works when you're on a mission to do something. Then you have power survey mode, mineral survey mode, and gas survey mode. Right? Oh, okay, we got some kind of objective complete. So what we discovered here was a mineral survey mode, and as you can see on the left hand side, it's paraffinium. It is an A class. Maximum density is 80%. So what I did is I walked around till I found that 80%, roughly. I think it's right in there. And I laid down that save beacon at my feet when I was at the 80%. So that's pretty much the center of where the concentration is on the paraffinium. So put down a base computer, do the usual, check to see if anybody has this. They don't. We'll claim the site. And bingo. Next step is building the mining units. Alright, so what I like to do is I like to build a single 4-panel floor piece down. And I'll select these mining extractors. And it holds 4 of these perfectly. They're expensive, 5 metal plating and 100 chromatic metal a piece. They're not cheap, but they're worth it. And we're going to build this on a really small scale. You can build these as large as you want. Now, the further you get away from the center of the source, the less efficient these things are going to be. So at 80%, that's going to be the highest. And as we go further and further away, they will lose their power. Now we're going to need some solar panels here because we don't have any electric sources nearby. So that's fine. We're going to go ahead and build a handful of these real quick, as well as some batteries. See how many we need. Try 8 and see if that works. It is nighttime, so that kind of sucks because we're not going to start getting power anytime soon. And it just turned night, but we'll take that time, to build everything up and then come back and take a look at it. So you got to make sure all these guys are connected to each other. Have a little rhyme or reason to it. There's a lot of snap points for the connectors. And if you follow a certain pattern like I'm doing here along the outside, it'll be a little easier for you to make sure you get it right and you don't miss anything and screw up. I'll run the power over there. Now all these guys will have power available to them. Next step is the old batteries. And I like to match these up 1 for 1 on how many solar panels I put down. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is a really sloppy rendition of this. This is not something I'm going to keep. This is just for sampling. And here we go. Go ahead and get these all connected. Do it on the outside there. Let's see, that runs pretty much straight across. Connected here. And now we've got 8 batteries, 8 solar panels, and 4 mineral extractors. Now the solar panels generate a maximum of about 50 kps. So let's see what these mineral extractors require to run. it doesn't tell us there. To go back into here just to look at it real quick. Oh, it's under power, that's right. So mineral extractors, they take 50. So that's actually kind of perfect because now we'll be able to power all 4 of them and generate the extra power to fill these batteries so that these can run 24/7. So while the night's running, we're going to go ahead and take the supply pipes and connect them. Oh, that's not good. Let's go to the overhead view. I like this better for doing this kind of stuff. So there's 1 to 2. Connect that one to up there. Connect that one to over there. Done deal. All 4 of those are connected. I'm going to put one more piece of paneling down. And we'll go ahead and stick it right there for now. And then we're going to put up the last part of this, which is the supply depot. So these extractors are great. They extract the resource you're looking for, and they store a little bit of it, but it's these supply depots that store the bulk of it. So the more of these you have, the more of a resource you're going to have when you come to collect it, especially if you don't collect it constantly. If this is something that you just throw one down and you go, I'm going to check back in a couple days, then the more storage you have, the better, because it'll just extract and store these things that much longer. If you have 25 extractors with only 1 storage, it doesn't matter. You might get the stuff out quickly, but you got to keep coming back. I think it's better to just kind of be methodical. I do a 1-to-1 ratio personally, and that's just because it's easy, to keep track of. If I've got 4 extractors, I've got 4 storage units, supply depots. You can see the overall storage for that is 5,000. So the way it works out is they store 1,000 a piece, and the extractors store 250 a piece. So there's your 1,000, 4,000, or 5,000. There's your 4,000 with these 4, and another 250 a pop there, 5,000. All right, let's wait till morning and let's get moving on. All right, it's daytime, and they are pumping away. 285 an hour, 287 an hour. Yikes. 300 an hour. It's probably our best one. And 295. So they're all pretty solid. They're all producing very nicely. These things are filling up. I think we didn't connect a couple, so let's go ahead. Make sure we got those connected. Of the batteries, at least. Connect those there. And then we'll just do that. Right? Are they connected? They're just not getting power yet. No, they're connected. I guess the other ones are filling up first. I thought they all filled up at the same time now. Very strange. Let's try one other thing. You can do multiple connections. Okay, yeah, I guess there was something broken in there. Alright, well, they're all connected. Everything's good. Storage supply, you can see 1167 per hour. Not bad. A couple hours this thing is full, and we will have paraffinium to use or sell. Again, not the most useful item out there, but I just kind of wanted to show that off a little bit in case you didn't know how those things work. Alright, let's go to the modules now. That's what we came here for. That's what we promised, and that's what we're going to deliver. On the second page up top here, large structures, you will see all these modular rooms. And there's a little bit of variety there, and they're kind of cool. You can do a lot of stuff with them. They're very easy to use, which is the nice part. And functionally, the cylindrical and the square room are pretty much the same. Same thing with the deep water square and deep water regular chamber. They're both pretty much the same. They just look slightly different. Let's go ahead, pop them down. They're stackable, which is cool. And you can mix and match the stacks. As you can see, they require power. And we'll get with that in a minute. And they also require a doorway to get in. So you use the hollow door, which is probably the easiest. That's the one I mostly use. Boom, you can run right on inside. And again, the one up top, same thing. Let's put another door up there. They're a little larger up top, but again, functionally the same. So what's cool is in the middle of these rooms, you see this circle. There's one here, and let's go up top. One here as well. This is a snap point for a lot of technology, like a basic teleport module, for instance. Appearance modifiers, large refiners, medium refiners, and if you, oh yeah, the antimatter reactor. Oh no, that one doesn't snap, that's right. Yeah, that one's on its own. Base salvage, I think. That's on its own as well. Galactic trade terminal snaps into a wall. And that's pretty much it for the big stuff. The teleporter doesn't snap. You have to set that off to a side. But what's really cool about these is solar panels and batteries snap, and you can see how that works. So you don't have to run wires and go with all that messy wiring. They automatically connect, and you'll see they're generating power and they're filling up in power. Also on the walls, certain items like where is it here? The Hell Station goes to the wall, and it's automatically powered. See, I can use it. On a non-modular room, and just for quickness sake, we're just going to do this. You put up a health station. Insufficient power. And it's a little frustrating because you can't just go like this and run power to it. You see there's no spot for it to connect. It's just out there. So yeah, that sucks. If you know of a way to connect those to just a regular basic wall, let me know. Because yeah, I haven't figured that out yet, and I've tried a couple different things. Now the rooms are cool. They come, you know, basic like that. We can go back over here to the modular stuff, and there's a couple different types of windows you can add to them, like these nice big glass ones like that. I think it's this one here. Yeah. So that gives you a little bit of a different style of window there. These large and circle and small, they go on different pieces. Biodomes snap on top of both the square and round one. That's where you can grow plants inside. And if you'd like, you can add ladders to these so that you can go from one floor to another. Now, I don't recommend multiple floors on top of each other using the same ladder if possible, because sometimes it gets a little wonky going up and down, especially if you want to get off on a floor that is not the top or the bottom floor. It could be just a little wonky. So if you're gonna do that, you might want to put one on this side and then one on that side and move them around a little bit. Now for this, we don't need that. All right, going to the outside portion here, we're going to look at corridors. So actually, let's look at some of this other stuff here first. So a lot of times when you go to put down one of these rooms, if you don't have access to a flat area, like this area is pretty good and flat here, but let's say, you know, we're up here somewhere. Get out of that build menu and go a little further up here. Most planets don't have those nice big flat areas like that. So yeah, we want to build one here, but we're having a hard time because of the terrain. And when we do get it, it looks a little goofy hanging off the edge there. Or maybe we wanted to make it a little larger, so we put a straight corridor on it, and then another cylindrical room, and now it's just floating, and that kind of sucks, right? It doesn't look good. I mean, you know, you can make it work if you want. But you got some nice little pieces like this frame here that, and then you have the foundation, That'll connect to that. And that gives it a little bit of structure. Let's let it fill in. It takes a moment sometimes. I know I installed you. There we go. So, yeah, you can see now we've got a nice little structure holding that up, and it looks much better in my humble opinion. Throw another one under here. Again, they snap, and they'll bury right into the ground, so you don't have any weirdness going on there. You got access ramps. Access ramps are great. We do have, let's put a doorway in on this one as well, and we'll show you how the access ramp works. Let's say we wanted to make this the way in. So instead of having to fly up there all the time, which can be a little challenging, especially if you're new to the game or you don't have a lot of rocket pack, a lot of things can factor in. You just build these nice little ramps to get on. Yeah, we built it all the way into the ground. Now it's smooth sailing getting up there. And again, we face the same power situation we face over there because these do require power. Not the bases, only the rooms. I don't believe the corridors require power. Oh yeah, they do actually. They require one. All right, well, let's take a look at these different corridors. You've got your basic straight one. You got your glassed roof one. You've got a cool curved one. And you got some junction ones. You've got an X, a T, a T shape, and then an L. In addition to those, you've got these cool little observation ones. And then you've got some glass tunnels. These are underwater ones, but they do work above water as well, just like these deep water chambers and square deep water chambers work above the water level. They used to not, you know, and these are kind of nice. I like these a lot, actually. To be honest with you, I prefer these to the other type. They're really cool looking. Look at that. They can go straight up. And you got the ones to go out the sides. Hello. All right, why isn't that working? The ones that go out the sides. No? Having trouble here? Nothing wants to build right now. That's being strange. Let's get up here and give it a look-see and try again. Building cameras enabled, but no building is allowed. Oh, you know what happened here, I believe? I believe we accidentally disabled the snap. So, yeah, on the free placement. All right, we had to re-enable the snap placement by pushing down on the D-pad. Sorry about that. But there you go. A couple different examples of how these things all snap together and work together and whatnot, which is cool. What else we got in here? So we got these circular windows, these large windows and small windows. So check this out. These large windows, I believe, work on some of these. Maybe not that one. Hold on. Yes, the angled window also works on your corridors here, your non-glass corridors. You put them on the sides and the top. So if you wanted, you know, if you built regular corridors in the beginning like that, instead of the glass ones, but later on you wanted to add glass because you found some glass you're able to make it finely you didn't have in the beginning. You could do that, or you could just swap it out. That's up to you. Depends on the kind of look you want. And then we'll go to and take a look at some of these cuboid rooms. There we go. Here's a good spot for them. These snap together very nicely, and they stack. And I fell. And sometimes they're a little tough to do, but you can make some big, grand rooms like that. Sometimes they're a pain to snap because you might have to change your angle and all that because you can't tell what direction you're looking at. And they snap seamlessly with the glass cuboid room, so you could do something like that. Add the glass out in front. And we'll go inside and we'll take a look at it. Maybe. I do need to work on the movement on this guy and the jetpack and all that. All right, let's go. So yeah, we have a cool room here now with a nice big glass open area up front there. And now here's where these different cuboid inner walls will come into place. I can partition something off in here if I wanted to. You know, I don't want it to be a completely separate room, but I want a little privacy area like that. I can put a cuboid inner door. And that'll, all right, let's get it, there we go. And we can also do a, yeah, let's do another wall. You know, so now we've kind of made that area a little separate from the rest. Still open up top if we wanted it open up top. Cuboid room flooring. See if we wanted to do that. Now we've got this separate little room in there. We can also go up top of it, divide it off a little bit differently. Windows, where were they? They were right up here. Here's where the little circle windows come in handy. Also the large windows. Small windows. Really depends on what you're looking for. There's a lot of variety though in building with these. And if you want to make large complex bases, this is a fun way to do it. It's more futuristic and industrial than using the little stone pieces or the alloy pieces and the wood pieces. Those are a little more rustic. This is a little more futuristic. So, you know, again, that's up to you as a player on what you want to do. Infrastructure ladders. Now here's something I never really used, but as you can see, they went on the outside of the building there. So when we go outside, it's just going to let you climb right up top and get to the top there. Different type of door. This one requires power and all that. A little more complicated than the other one, but if you place it down, you know, it stays open. Very, very basic. As you can see, here we are outside. Climbing up the ladder. And climbing back down. Not what I wanted. And then you got these roof caps, which you could pop right on top. It gives a little more style to your base. These raised caps. And whoops, that hurt. If you look at it internally, you really don't see a difference, do you? Yeah, we see it over the glass one that we put it over, but everything else, it's just still a flat roof. So it doesn't like raise the interior or anything like that. It's just an exterior basic look for it. These are kind of cool. Let's go outside to work with this. Damn it. You know, you can really start to have a little fun with some of these parts by adding these curved walls. Let's get out of that mode and go into this mode. got to go from above. Haha. Yeah, if it's not lining up right, move around. Try it from a different angle. Eventually, you'll get it where you want it. As you can see with that. And then the curved cuboid roof. Works the same way, but it's not going to work on that because we've already got something there, but we can turn it there. See, there's a lot of opportunity to do some unique and crazy building with these pieces. All you got to do is use your imagination. Again, I use these a lot for basic mining bases and stuff. Something like this one where I built the paraffinium mine. I would slap a couple of those circle ones down. I'd put all the basics in there, a trade terminal, a teleporter, a healing thing on the wall, and maybe a couple large or medium refiners if it's some if it's a place that I'm getting materials that I want to process, anything like that, I would add those things to it. But just a basic base like that is great. Another cool thing about these is something else that snaps into place is a landing pad. And I highly recommend having one of these at every base. To me, it's just a no-brainer. When you teleport into a base, your ship will land here. That's a bad location for one. We'll have to clean it up a little bit. But again, I'm not staying here. This is just for testing purposes. But yeah, you'll have your ship will land on that landing pad and stay there. So if you do take off in it, it's not going to cost you any launch pad fuel. You won't have to replace uranium or anything like that. It's good to go. Anything else on this big part? Yeah, and here's some more room frames here, these basic cuboid ones. We got a couple more things we can look at. These are nice for a variety of reasons, actually. As you can see, this looks silly standing up on its own with nothing supporting it, so we can stack a couple of these underneath it, and that gives it a little structure to it. Then you've got these little struts here, which are basically like the round ones that we put under the big circular rooms. And then we've got this one here, which is just a single one. So if you want to add a little structure underneath, you don't have to worry about building out and over and raising the land or anything like that. You just build a little infrastructure to make it look like it's all holding together. Pretty cool. And yeah, here's the last thing to look at, the interior stairs. These are nice. Of course, this will help, I think. All right, yeah. So the interior stairs are a little big and clunky. But they're a good solid way to get you up top, like in here. All these modular things. There's so much you can do with this kind of a setup here. If you're a new player and you don't want to do too much as far as making crazy builds, I recommend these. The biggest downfall of them is that they require power. And as you can see, and let's just do something real, well, it's nighttime now, but we'll put just a couple down. Now we'll put 4 solar panels down, and then 4 batteries. And then we'll wait till morning and see if that's enough to power all this, because this is a lot of power required. And the power really gets hefty with those biodomes. Those are expensive for power. The square room, cylindrical room, or yeah, cylindrical rooms, 10. Biodomes, 50. So that's one solar panel just to power that throughout the day. 2, if you want to power it at night, 2 with an accompanying pair of batteries to take that extra charge. So yeah, they are pricey. That's the biggest downfall. And the solar panels can get a little pricey with the gold required to make them and all that. Not the hardest thing in the world to get, but again, just another little like extra, oh crap, I need that too, type feel. So anyway, those are your basic building modules. Go ahead and tell me if you like using these better than working with the build your own stuff, the wood, stone, and alloy structures. What do you prefer? Again, I like these a lot just for the ease of them. And of course, as you're using these, you can also go in and hit that middle button and you can change the material it's made out of. You can make it look like it's concrete, rust, stone, or wood, and then change the coloration on it. For instance, let's do a black and yellow rusty one and pop it down and see how that looks. Let it fill in. As you can see, it looks pretty cool. You got that little bit of, it's basically black with the yellow rust, paint scraped off and looking a little older and a little more decrepit than the other ones do. These look nice and clean, brand new. So if you really want to personalize your base, make it match the type of planet you're on, make it look like whatever you were using it to mine. If you're doing dioxide, you can make it blue on a snowy planet. However you want to do it, that's up to you. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of No Man's Sky. As always, from Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications. Don't forget to leave a comment and a like on the video down below. Let me know what your building preferences are. I'm eager to hear from you back on it. I will see you next time. Until then, peace.